Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to look at graphing slope-intercept form. So linear equations, and we're going to graph them. If you've completed the grade 8 video, two variable equations, today's lesson will be a lot easier for you. And if you have a ruler, that would be really handy. So representing a linear equation, we can represent it as an equation, a graph, or a table, and you can get any of them from each other. And so in grade 8, we looked at particularly here and here. And what we're going to do today is the relation between equation and graph. That's what we're going to do today. So two main properties stand out when looking at graphs of linear relations. The first is how steep it is. So is it steep like this, steep like that, steep like this? And the second is the translation of the line. Right? These two lines have the same steepness, let's say, but it's translated up or down like that. So when we're looking at how steep, we measure the steepness by what is called the slope. And so the slope m here is going to represent slope. M is going to represent slope. It's change in y over change in x. So delta y is y2 minus y1. Delta x means x2 minus x1, like that. And another term that we use for m is rise over run. So we have 2 points here on our line, x1, y1, and x2, y2. And so if we go y2 minus y1, that gives this length here, the rise. And x2 minus x1 gives the run, like that. And so the slope is rise over run, and that's the steepness of the line. So example 1, find the slope of the given linear relation. So we have our graph here like this, and we want to select integer coordinates, and that's a lot easier. And so we notice here this point is on the graph like that, and so that point is 0, 1. And then this point is on the graph, and that point is 5, 2. So we have our first point and our second point. So our delta y over delta x, we're going to go y2 minus y1. So y2 is 2, y1 is 1, so 2 minus 1, like that. x2 minus x1, x2 is 5, x1 is 0, so 5 minus 0. And so that slope m is 1 over 5 as our slope. Okay, so practice number 1. Find the slope of the given linear relation. Go ahead and pause the video and answer that. Okay, so for A, our first point here is negative 1, 1. Our second point is 1, 3, like that. So we're going to go y2 minus y1, so 3 minus 1, like that. x2 minus x1, 1 minus negative 1, like that. So this is 2 over on the top, 1 plus 1, 2 on the bottom. So the slope here is 1. B, here's our line like that. Our first point is right here, negative 1, 4. Our second point is 1, 1, like that. So y2, 1 minus 4, like that. And then 1 minus negative 1, which is plus 1, like that. So negative 3 over 2 is our slope. So we notice that a positive slope goes like this direction, and a negative slope goes down in this direction. Okay, translation of the line. So we looked at how steep it is. Now we're going to look at translation. So all three of these lines have the same slope, but they are translated up and down from each other. So we use the y-intercept to distinguish the lines. The y-intercept is the point 0y on the graph of the linear relation. So that's this point here, and this point here. These are what's called the y-intercepts. So we're going to look at our general relation here. Y equals mx plus b. And so m is the slope, and b is the y-intercept, right? At the y-intercept, the x value is 0, right? All these y-intercepts, the x value is 0. So if we plug in x equals 0 into our equation, we get y equals m times 0 plus b. 0 times m is simply 0, and so y equals b, like that. So when x is 0, y is b, and so b is our y-intercept. That's what it just showed, that if we plug in 0 here, we get b, which is the y-intercept. And so this form, y equals mx plus b, is called the slope-intercept form. And so here are some linear equations, and we're going to graph them right now. Okay, so graphing in slope-intercept form is very easy, and we're going to do a whole bunch right now. So we start with the y-intercept, so -3, right? When x is 0, y is -3. So x is 0, y is -3, like that. So we're going to go slope of 2. So over 1, up by 2. Over 1, up by 2. Right? That's our m slope, right? Right? M is change in y over change in x. And in this case, it's 2 over 1, like that. Right? So we go over 1 by 1, and then up x by 2. Up y by 2. Right? We move by 1x, 2y. 1x, 2y. And so these are the points on the graph, and then we connect them like that. B, y equals 2 over 3x plus 1. So we started our y equals 1, our y-intercept, like that. We go over by 3x, right? 1, 2, 3. Up by 2, 1, 2. That's our next point, 3, 3. And we draw our line like that. C, y equals -1 over 4x plus 2. So we're starting at 2 like that. We're going over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down by 1, -1, like that. And then we connect those like that. So what's needed on the graph are the lines like this, the axes. Label the axes, x and y, like that. And then we have our linear equation here with arrows on both sides. And then we write the graph beside the line like that. We write the equation beside the graph like that. So if you have all of those things, you get your A+. Okay, let's do some more practice. Lots of practice. So y equals -3x plus 4. So we're starting at 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is -3 over 1. So over 1 down by 3, over 1 down by 3, and we connect like that. Okay, last example, E, 4 over 5x minus 2. So we go -2, that's our y-intercept, start there. So we go over 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's our line, like that. Okay, so you get to practice a lot now. Practice number 2, graph the following linear equations. So here are 6 of them. Go ahead and pause the video and answer that. Okay, 3x minus 1. So we start at -1. Slope is 3 over 1. So over 1 up by 3, over 1 up by 3, and there's our graph. B, start at 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. -1 over 1. So over 1 down 1, over 1 down 1, over 1 down 1, and then there's our graph. 2 over 3x minus 2. Start at -2. 3x up by 2, 3x up by 2, like that. D, 7 over 8x minus 1. So we start at -1, over by 8, up by 7, and then there's our graph like that. E, -3x plus 2. So we start at 2, down by 3, over by 5, down by 3, over by 5, and there's our graph like that. F, -4 over 3x plus 3. Start at 3, down by 4, over by 3, down by 4, over by 3, and there's our graph like that. Okay, now we're going to do something a little different. Write an equation for the given graph. So this isn't here. We have to figure out an equation of the graph. First thing is y-intercept. So you go 1, 2. So we know that the y-intercept is 2. Now we're going to look at the slope. We're going to look for exact coordinates here. So we notice that if we go over 3 up by 2, we get integer coordinates. Over by 3, up by 2. So you see that? So our slope here is 2 over 3, right? Up 2 over 3. Up 2 over 3. And so that is the equation of our graph. Okay, B. Y-intercept is 3, like that. So we notice we're going over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1. So that's a slope of negative 1 over 1, which is simply negative 1. So our slope here is negative x. Sorry, the equation is negative x plus 3, like that. Okay, your turn. Write an equation for the given graph. Go ahead and pause the video and answer that. Okay, B, go ahead and pause the video and find the equation. Okay, so for A, we notice that we're starting at negative 5. And so the next one is 2 over 3 up. 2 over 3 up, like that. And so that's what we have. 2 over and 3 up, x, y-intercept minus 5, like that. B, we notice that the y-intercept is 4, so plus 4, like that. We notice that we're going down by 2, so negative 2, and then over by 5, like that. So negative 2 over 5 is our slope. And so this is our equation of that graph. Okay, a couple more for you to practice. Go ahead and pause the video and find the equation of this graph. Okay, same thing here. D, go ahead and pause the video and find the equation of this graph. Okay, so for C, we notice that we're starting at 6, like that. We're going over 1, down 4, over 1, down 4, and so that is our equation here. Over 1, down 4, so negative 4 over x, sorry, negative 4 over 1 times x, plus 6 as our y-intercept, and so that's our equation. D, y-intercept is 5. Slope, we're going over 3, up 1, over 3, up 1, so over 3, up 1, like that, and so this is the equation of our graph. And that's it. It's that easy. I'll see you guys in the next video.